Towing a travel trailer. In this tutorial, we will talk about towing a travel trailer. As a side note, you may want to stop and watch our video on the spotter roll ahead of time. When planning a trip, the driver will need to consider the towing capacity of his or her vehicle along with the payload. The tow vehicle will need to be equipped with a brake controller and its own hitch. The hitch needs to be adequately rated for the weight of the travel trailer, and it will need the appropriate ball size. The driver will need to know the gross vehicle weight restriction of the travel trailer. The driver will need to be familiar with the mechanics of hooking up a trailer to a tow vehicle, and lastly, the driver will need to be familiar with towing. Let's expand upon these topics. Gross vehicle weight restriction, the tow vehicle, towing capacity, payload, and the brake controller. Hitch and ball, connecting the tow vehicle to the trailer, traveling with the trailer in tow. The gross vehicle weight restriction, GVWR, refers to a trailer's maximum permitted weight. This weight is a cumulative amount of the dry weight of the trailer plus added materials and fluids. The number refers to the maximum combined weight the trailer is permitted to carry. If towing one of our travel trailers, the tow vehicle must be rated to carry the GVWR amount. We do not overstock our trailers, so we are confident the weight will be below the GVWR. Every tow vehicle will come with a tow capacity rating and a payload rating. These numbers can be found in your vehicle owner's manual. It is paramount that you verify these ratings to ensure the safety of you, your passengers, and the other people on the road. Your towing capacity is the amount of weight your vehicle is permitted to tow or drag behind. Your payload amount refers to the downward force your vehicle experiences. Approximately 10% of the trailer weight will contribute to your payload. You will also need to factor in the weight of the passengers and the equipment carried in the tow vehicle. The brake controller is an electrical component that activates the brakes on the trailer. It enables the driver to reduce speed by applying brakes to the tow vehicle and the travel trailer at the same time. This will allow for shorter stopping times and less wear on the tow vehicle's brakes. Modifying the gain will affect the braking sensitivity. The brake controller is typically located on the dash below or to the side of the steering wheel. Be sure to establish the sensitivity of your controller at slow, safe speeds when starting your trip. Depending on the speed of the tow vehicle, the gain may need to be adjusted periodically. It is important to reference the manual and familiarize yourself with the proper operating procedure ahead of time. Your towing arrangement would not be complete without your hitch and ball. It is equally important to make sure your hitch has an appropriate weight rating, as it is to make sure the tow vehicle has an appropriate tow rating. The typical travel trailer hitch ball sizes are 2 inches and 2 5/16 inches. Make sure you know what size ball to bring. This will be conveyed to you after you have booked your travel trailer for self-tow. We use and we recommend you use an equalizer hitch along with equalizer bars. This will create a much stronger and a much safer connection, while also distributing the weight more evenly to the front tires. Please familiarize yourself ahead of time for proper equalizer hitch application and use and inspect your equipment ahead of time. While using effective spotter techniques, we will slowly guide our tow vehicle in a straight line with the trailer until the ball is approximately 1 foot from the tongue of the trailer hitch. We will signal for the driver to stop and adjust the height of the tongue, so the coupler sits a few inches higher than the height of the ball. We want to be able to bring the ball underneath the coupler without contacting it. The spotter will continue to guide the driver slowly and safely backward until the ball is just forward from the center or exactly centered in line with the coupler. Stop the tow vehicle and put the vehicle in park. Use the tongue jack to lower the coupler so it sits on the ball. Engage the latch and fasten it with a locking pin or coupler lock. Once the coupler is completely placed on the ball, assess the underside and make sure it is seated properly. You should see the coupling mechanism curving around the underside of the ball. Now the chains can be attached. We suggest crisscrossing the chains as you attach them to the tow vehicle. Next, plug in your 4-pin or 7-pin power cable, and lastly attach your emergency breakaway cable to the tow vehicle. Once this is complete, you will attach the equalizer bars. Please refer to our other tutorial for more information on the equalizer bar application. Recheck everything you have done. The latch is seated properly and pinned. The chains are connected and not dragging. The power cable is connected and operational. The emergency brake cable is connected to the hitch and the tow vehicle. The equalizer bars are safely in place. Before you begin to drive after attaching a trailer, you must perform a walk around of the trailer to make sure nothing has been forgotten. It is easy to get sidetracked and miss something. This step is very important. Let's specifically verify. Trailer lights are working, including running, brakes, turn signals, and clearance. All external connections are unplugged and packed, power, sewer, and water. Inspect all doors and latches. Make sure all roof vents and extendable antennas are in the down position. Steps are in the upright position. Inspect the tires for pressure, wear, cracks, bulges, and minimum tread depth. For good measure, triple check your hitch setup. Once we are all ready to go, the last thing to do is remove the chocks from the wheels and pack them. They will be needed at the next stop. Roll down your windows before you start to drive and listen for any ominous sounds. Travel a short distance before coming to a stop. Recheck your vehicle/trailer connection one last time. If all looks well, you're off to your destination. Towing a trailer forward is rather simple, not much different than driving any vehicle forward. Turning, reversing, and stopping, on the other hand, requires a different approach than driving without a trailer in tow. When turning, you must consider the tow vehicle's path and the trailer's path. The wheels will not follow directly. They will in fact take a shorter route, thus making it extremely important to anticipate your approach. If taking a right 90-degree corner, the tow vehicle will need to take a wider approach to the corner to bring the wheels around and avoid departing from safe ground. Take wide sweeping turns if you want to stay in a precise lane. Of course, this isn't important if you are in an open field, but if you're turning onto a perpendicular street or if you are turning into a parking lot, you will need to make these adjustments. Left turns are generally a bit easier. They are wider and sweeping to begin with. Reversing a trailer and situating it into a campsite can be tricky and is likely going to be the most challenging part of the tow. It is best to survey and assess the area prior to starting your approach. Get out of the vehicle to do this. Come up with a plan. You will need to consider the path of the trailer along with the path of the tow vehicle. When reversing, if you turn the steering wheel to the right, clockwise, you can expect the back of the trailer to travel toward the left and the front of the trailer to go to the right. Of course, the opposite occurs if you turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction. Turning to the left, counterclockwise, while reversing, you will move the rear of the trailer right and the front of the trailer left. The driver must frequently assess the path of the tow vehicle's front end. Mistakes are often made when the driver pays all of his or her attention to the rear. If the spotter wants to provide feedback about the position of the truck, the process should be stopped and discussed verbally. These instructions assume the driver and the spotter have established a communication plan with calmness and well-identified arm and hand signals. Please review our video on the spotter role for an expanded explanation. When you arrive at your destination, you may need to level the trailer from side to side with wood blocking prior to detaching the trailer and further setting up. Leveling and setting up your trailer is a multi-step process that we will break down in a different tutorial. Happy towing, smile!